the hour.
Awesome.
And let me tell you that you are in for a treat. This is absolutely my favorite call of the week. I learned so much. I absorbed so much. It is with my great pleasure to introduce you to a man that has become a mentor to literally thousands. I'm not kidding. Thousands. I've learned so much. I've grown to love him like a brother. I just marvel at his genius mind. So please pay close attention to everything that Greg Baldwin has to say. On that note, Greg Baldwin, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Nalani. And as you know how I feel about you, and I say this all the time because I get it. It's because I've surrounded myself with people that make me look better than I really am. And anybody in the leadership position, you'll find that the people that's closest to them, they're really supporting anything that they bring to the table. So thank you for everything that you do, and so looking forward to hearing a portion of your training today as well. And to all the global community members, hey, welcome to today's Locker Room Talk. And very, very excited about what we're going to be sharing with each and every one of you today. And to all of the newest members, we want to welcome you as well with open arms. And this is our Saturday Locker Room Talk, and it is a Locker Room Talk. And so if we get down to the nitty gritty, there's nothing pretentious here. I want to encourage you to take out pen and paper to take down some copious notes, because this is all about leadership development. Sometimes I have a tendency, or some of the leaders have a tendency to say some things that you may or may not like, but charge everything that's being said in the locker room talk to our head and not our hearts, because we sincerely want to see each and every one of you flat out successful. And so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. You guys are going to also be hearing from Alan Delaney as well today. So we got a jam-packed locker room training for each and every one of you. What I want to do before we get into the how-tos today, I want to talk to you guys about the law of belief. And the reason why I want to go over this is because we have a deadline that we're looking to meet come September 1st, and that's not just the end, that's the beginning. But we want to make sure that we're adding a bunch of logs to the fire, if you will, moving forward come September 1st. And in order for us to do that collectively, your belief has to be on 100%. Because 1% doubt and you are out. And so my goal before we turn it over to Alan and Alani is to make sure your belief level is 100%. You're inoculated, if you will, against the negative naysayers out there in the world. So there's many of us out here, when you look at the spectrum of questioning whether this is legal, and then there's people at the other end of the spectrum, like myself, that flat out understands that this is a genius project of epic proportion that is going to revolutionize the way in which people generate funding, if you will, and everything in between. And so can many of you remember a time and place whereby we were told to never pick up hitchhikers, and it was just unheard of to do so? We were told, we were spanked, we were told never to do that. And then here comes a company that disrupts the industry, and it's called Uber. And guess what we do? They created a gig economy, picking up hitchhikers. So the belief has shifted from never picking up hitchhikers or strangers to it becoming a gig economy. That is what we're talking about in terms of an industry disruptor. And you guys hear David Rosen and myself and other leaders, we talk about we are disrupting the fundraising industry. And I want to share something with each and every one of you and I'm going to read an email. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but I want to do this because I know that some of you out there may be on that spectrum of, well, is it legal? I'm not sure if I want to talk to people, and you're not bulletproof. My intentions today is to make sure that you're bulletproof, so that when we get off this training today, you're going to talk to anyone that you know and love and pack out the 2:00 p.m. overview call that we're going to have this afternoon. So let me read this to you, because some of you will be able to relate, because I want you guys to understand that corporate receives emails and gets different things as well. And I'm going to inoculate you guys with the kind of perspective that you need in order to be successful. But before I do that, let me go ahead and share my screen real quickly, and then I'm going to read this to you, and we're going to break this thing down for each and every one of you. Okay, so this was someone that sent out the video, a presentation, whatever the case may be, and this is the response. Like I said, there's no names here. This is just a training moment for each and every one of you. So the response was in an email: I've watched the video you sent me and checked out the website. I realized I could just say I'm not interested. But I have to be honest about this. Regardless of the positive images, philanthropic sentiments, and the founder's intentions, the underlying core of this business as a pyramid scheme cannot be ignored. First, crowdfunding is meant to supply funds to a particular project and/or person, often philanthropic and innovative, with no expectation of compensation. I imagine this is how co-op skirts some of the legal issues by saying these things are donations and gifts. The issue is that most people signing up for this likely do so with the intention and expectation of making money, as described in the presentation. Otherwise, they might just donate to a cause dear to them rather than to a friend or stranger who isn't necessarily in need of charity. The possibility of making money is what drives people to sign up for this, not philanthropy. If that wasn't the case, we would all donate to crowdfunding initiatives in which we expect no return, except for that person or organization to do good. Ultimately, this scheme uses the principle of crowdfunding and philanthropy to avoid calling itself an MLM, but uses the incentive of making money to sign people up and drive it forward. Where this is MLM becomes a pyramid scheme is when, number one, there's no good or service being provided or exchanged. Number two, it's funded by signing up new members. And it goes on and on and on. And it said, listen, I'm grateful that you thought enough of the business venture that you're excited about, but this is textbook pyramid scheme. This business is designed absolutely illegal in Canada as the promotion of one. And in my honest opinion, I really don't think sharing this content is a good idea. Be careful. So that was something that, one of our members had received. And some of you may have, heard different things out there in the background. And here's what I want you guys to understand, because I'm going to go ahead and knock this thing out of the park so that you guys can get past all of this negativity and jargon, because just like when Uber came along, prior to Uber coming along, it was thought of don't pick up hitchhikers. Uber comes along and it's okay. And Mark Twain said it best, never allow schooling to interfere with your education. This person is sincere, but they're sincerely wrong. And I'm getting ready to share with you guys why that's the case. Because we're getting ready to change the world. We're at the tip of the spear when it comes to this global revolution. And so a global problem requires a global solution. And a lot of people are hurting financially and need their causes funded. So let's go ahead and break some of this thing down. He talked about philanthropy. Let's talk about what the definition of philanthropy is. Basically, it's the desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Now, what's a good cause? That's so subjective. Do you think that innovating a computer versus someone paying their monthly mortgage or taking care of outstanding medical bills is more of a good cause than someone else's? So a cause is a cause, and it is nobody's business to define what a good cause is. That is completely subjective. But let's go ahead and break this thing down when you look at traditional crowd funds, because this individual does not understand what it is that we're doing. We talk about that co-op is an industry disruptor. We are one of a kind, meaning you cannot put us in a box. We are unique. You've never seen anything like this before, but I'm going to educate you guys on why we are the real deal. When you look at this right here, traditional crowd funds, what you're actually looking at, the perspective is you're looking down on this structure here of a crowd fund. That dot in the middle can be Indiegogo, Kickstarter, PayPal, Facebook, whatever. The dots around it going down are the different causes and people that use their platform to generate, to go ahead and create their campaign, if you will. So it's pyramidal in structure. Why is it okay for a centralized platform to get all the money funneled up to them and then they disseminate it at will? That is the pyramid. So when you look at these different platforms, all right, they get a piece of the action, and then they also get processing fees, transfer fees, and all these other things. But it goes up to Indiegogo in their hierarchy, their bureaucratic nature, and then they get a piece of the action, which this person feels like that's okay to do. But it's not okay when we flatten that pyramidal structure and redistribute the kind of funding that we're able to create with CoopCrowd. So please take a picture of that so you understand what I'm talking about here. The other thing that he talked about is people giving donations for the sake of, or being incentivized to give donations only to receive something, and that's not goodwill. That's not true, because there are 5 different types of crowdfunding, okay? There's donation-based, which we know about. There is debt-based crowdfunding, all right, where you go ahead and you create a campaign to get funded with the expectation of paying it back. There's also rewards-based. So who would do a rewards-based crowdfunding project? Well, with the intent of donating to the cause in order to receive discounts or maybe a discount on the product that they're donating towards. Then there is equity-based. Equity-based is when you donate into an equity-based crowd fund, and then with the expectation of getting a return of a piece or equity position in the company, right? And then you have real estate-based, where it's a pool of people that are able to come together and they go ahead and put it into a real estate deal to buy an apartment complex or whatever the case may be, typically a minimum of like $5,000, all right? In the expectation of getting a return on a quarterly basis. So this notion of what we're doing is incentivizing people to donate because they want to get something in return as we're doing something wrong is absolutely nonsense, ladies and gentlemen, because there are other crowdfunding platforms out there that is exactly what they do. They create the campaign to incentivize people to donate. And what we're doing is a philanthropy, if you will. We're changing the world. We're looking to eradicate poverty. We're looking for people to hit their number to cover their monthly expenses. So I'm sharing this with each and every one of you because you're going to be dealing with this kind of, let's say, mindset, which is the old guard. They're not ready to be innovative. They don't understand that we're moving into a brand new reality, and the Internet of Things is making this all possible. Now let's look at CoopCrowd, our crowdfunding. Look at the difference here. It's distributed. We are literally, it's not a hierarchy. We get paid 100%. So in order to get paid 100%, that means it's not going up to a hierarchy just to a CEO. And then you have administrators and regional managers and all that kind of stuff that you have to pay and employees. It is flattening, all right, the pyramidal structure of all the other traditional crowdfunding platforms and goes into the pockets and the bank account or your decentralized wallet. Because that's the other thing I want you guys to understand about the traditional crowd funds is that when you're ready, when it's time to withdraw your money, it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 business days, and it depends on the processing of your bank. Guess what our bank is? Our own private decentralized digital wallet. People, I'm over the moon excited about the genius of what David Rosen has put in place to effectuate the kind of change that is going to allow us to eradicate poverty and to help each and every one of us get our full measure of success. So this is what we're doing. So don't allow anyone to steal your dreams, okay? As leaders, we have to educate people about what's going on. So when you think about it, one donation in crowd effectuate and helps 10 people's causes. That's the distribution process of what it is that we're doing. It is fair, it is benevolent, and it is ideally, it's almost perfect. So I wanted to share that with each and every one of you so that you're inoculated with your belief, okay? Because 1% doubt and you're out. You need to have 100% bona fide belief in terms of what it is that we're doing. Now, he also mentioned that in Canada it's illegal, but did he realize that the founder of CoopCrowd lives in Canada? So I want you guys to understand, don't entertain nonsense. They may be sincere. They may be even intellectually intelligent. You may look up to them, but they just don't know what they don't know. And in the words of Mark Twain, once again, do not allow schooling to interfere with your education, people. This makes sense, okay? So the key is here. What's your number? That's what you guys need to understand. Focus on what's your number. And we're talking about your monthly overhead. And what I love about what we're doing here, and David T. Rose is going to put this in the back office at some point in time, it's going to be a co-op-like declaration, because this is about us getting the job done. We're looking to have 100 million members worldwide over the next 12 months. And that's not hyperbole. That's not hype or anything like that. If you don't believe it, then you might as well bow out now. We're looking for people that share the vision of what we need to do here, because we know what's going on around the world. We can smell it. We can taste it. We can feel it, that we're going into a new normal. We're not going back to the way things used to be. And because of Zoom and the Internet of Things, we can do peer-to-peer transaction and create our own ecosystem, if you will. So when you look at this co-op life declaration, what you essentially want to do is you want to identify people, like-minded people that want to be debt-free, stress-free and financially free, that made a decision to join CoopCrowd. You want to lock arms with them. And this declaration is like, you want to identify like a workout partner, because it's like being a business athlete. You know, it's about winning the game. It's about winning the championship. And this declaration is, and I'm not going to read it to you guys, but you guys can read it for yourself. You want to go ahead and identify your players that you're going to lock arms with to go ahead and hit that number. When you look at this chart here, we're not allowed to say guarantee, but let's talk about mathematical certainty. What does mathematical certainty mean? To me, it means guarantee. It's just a matter of execution. It's amazing how people will go ahead and take $2 and put it towards the lottery. We're talking about $1 a day here, but people every day will take $2 to $5 or more and put it into a lottery. They'll take some money, they'll put it into a mutual fund or the stock market with no mathematical certainty shown to them whatsoever. It's almost as if people can't handle the truth. The numbers are here in plain sight, and each and every one of us can identify what that number is to overcome our monthly overhead and expenses. So when I tell you guys I'm over the moon excited and I'm committed to this cause to no end, I mean that sincerely. So all hands on deck. And to those people that's on the sideline waiting for September 1st, but they're not talking to people and they're just hoping pennies from heaven are going to fall out of the sky, that's being disingenuous. What are you doing to move this Titanic forward? Pick up a hammer, pick up a paintbrush, help us build the studs, help us do what we're looking to do, and that's to eradicate poverty and change the way in which people make money around the world for their causes. So here's the deal. The 3 in 3 in 33, okay? Now, you guys see this. I'm not going to go into detail here. We do it in the overview call. We break it all the way down. Your donation is free once you identify your 3. Then your 3 get their 3. It unlocks the bonuses. That can be done in a week's time. And then you go ahead and move forward in the 3 to get 3 with your declaration with the partners that you've locked arms with. Because just like Roger Bannister did, he broke the 4-minute mile barrier, and then thousands of people, including high school kids, started breaking the 4-minute mile barrier. Guess what's going to happen when we, the 10 to 15,000 of us, start effectuating getting these donations? It's going to increase the belief, and then tens of millions of people are going to follow us and do the exact same thing because we did it first. So at this moment in time, for some people, if they don't want to be at the 250 initially and want to start the 25, you're leveraging your donations, and then within 18 days, you can upgrade to the 250 at that moment in time if you don't want to come into both cooperatives in the very beginning. All the way down, and you guys see here, the 10X's your donations here, okay? And I know I may be talking fast because I'm so excited, you guys. I've been in marketing for many years. We are attracting some high caliber leaders to the table. You're going to be hearing from a couple of them here momentarily that see this thing as clear as water. So when I say we have all green lights, we do. David Rosen has flattened the road for us. There are no hills. There's no road construction or anything like that. Let's put the pedal to the metal. So you take this all the way down, and for 33 days, you can see here in days 2019 through 21, $4,183 in residual donations toward your cause. We're talking about 90% of the global population's monthly expenses being covered. If we just did that, people, we've effectuated the kind of change that we're looking to do. And then all the way down throughout the entire process in 33 days, you're talking about close to $1 million in residual donations. And in 30 days, actually, it's $1,042,000. And it's real numbers to a mathematical certainty. And we'll talk about that at a later time. So just for your purposes here, the bottom line is identify your 3 cat quick. Get them today. But within 3 days, you should be able to identify 3 people who want to be debt-free, stress-free, and financially free here. So guys, take a screenshot of this. So if you have zero personal donors, he's still set up where you receive up to 2 levels of donations. Where do they do that in any other project where they're willing to reward you for doing nothing? So think about how powerful that is. This was designed to truly be benevolent and help people around the world. So I'm flat out excited about this. So we are the global solution to a global problem. I want to inoculate all of our global family members to get out here and talk to people and beat your chest. Ask them to get on a conference call. Ask them to say yes or no to the information and not what they think that it is. So we're the tip of the spear for global change, you guys. We're building a model ecosystem for others to do in their own space. We are that revolution. We are that company. And I hope you guys see what I'm saying here, and you guys take massive action, because I know that I am. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share here real quickly.